All right, I am out in front of this house on Workland, and I just want to give you a feel for the neighborhood. I'm sure you can see on the map that it kind of curves around here to like a quasi cul-de-sac, and the street continues that direction south. This is a house right across the street, and then you're one house away, probably 30 yards or so from Maple Grove, which is a relatively busy road. I mean, you kind of get a vibe for it right now. It's not terribly busy, but right now it's kind of towards the tail end of rush hour. So just kind of give you a feel for it. Anyhow, this is the house right on the corner, and then the subject property right here. And yeah, it was kind of like I expected it to be. There's some interesting DIY stuff going on. It's not a bad place at all. It just doesn't show as well as it could, that's all. So got a carport here, and you can probably, I'll show you from the structure here. This looks like a DIY carport for me, or at least there's these temporary supports here that appear to be holding it up. So the carport is not in the greatest of shape. From what I can see here, it looks like there's, yeah, I mean, it's damp right now up here, so it needs some love, but beyond that, from what I can see, at least visually looking at the roof looks like it's in pretty good shape, and at least in the front yard here, there's decent grass. You'd want to throw some seed down here and level this out a little bit, but it looks all right. So walking in, one of the cool things, I mean, it definitely has some personality. It's not just a boring tract home. There's this little enclosed patio space here that is partially covered by the roof, but you've got some natural light coming in from the top. So kind of a cool little patio space. And walk in, and I just want to give you a feel for the layout. So all the bedrooms are down this hall to the left. And then you walk straight into, I guess this would be set up probably like a formal living room. It's kind of a funky space. It's a little bit narrow, but this room is about 12 feet wide, probably 15 feet deep. And it looks like they refinished these original beams up here, which is kind of a cool touch. But if I turn to the right, you've got kitchen, and then this open space would be dining, and then immediately to the right, there's like a family room. But I wanted to point out, there's a few different types of flooring going on here. So these main spaces here, it looks like it's a new laminate, or newish laminate, and it continues throughout the house this way, and there's some interesting transitions and some tile work down there that's kind of a similar look. It's not an exact match. And as you come over here, there is a different laminate running in a different direction. It looks like maybe they kind of tried to match it, but it does not quite match. Kitchen, original cabinets that have been painted, and just some new hardware put on there. But yeah, original cabinets have been painted. Original countertops. There's a little crack right there, but I mean, they're in good physical shape beyond that. So they're functional. It's just original countertops, and looks like somebody recently put in one of these kind of like kit backsplashes, but it's real tile, little marble pieces. And then got some little built-ins here, and then you've got this family room that I was telling you about. But before I head in there, there's a little laundry and mechanical room right here. The layout's a little bit funky. You've got a utility sink here, but this is where the dryer is supposed to go. So the dryer vent and plug are behind there. You've got enough space, you could put a dryer and the washer right here. You just have to have a longer cord, and it would probably feel a little claustrophobic when you walk in, because there'd only be maybe 30 inches between you and the washer and dryer. Here's your service panel. It's got, let's see, where's the main on here? I don't see the main shut off unless I'm missing something. Anyhow, it's got breakers. It's modern, but probably original. Furnace installed in 2016, so it's fairly new. And the water heater, the manufacture date was 2012, so it's about 8 years old. Then you've got your family room. So you step down here. I'm getting the feeling that this was a garage at one point, but there's a couple things throwing me off. This fireplace looks like it's probably original, and then there's ductwork in the floor over here, which obviously you could not do under a garage because those are typically slabs, at least in this part of the country. But it kind of has that feel, and it's placed where a garage might have been. But anyhow, so the fireplace has been painted, but just not very thoroughly, as you can see. It doesn't look bad from a distance. It actually kind of gives it some personality, that there's a little bit of the dark stuff coming through, but you can see somebody just hand painted it with a brush, so there's brush strokes and stuff on there. So coming back up here, there's two ways to access the backyard. One is through the dining room. Walk out the dining room, and so your carport on the front of the house is right through there, and there's a gate, and then there's a big shed right here that has power to it, which is nice. And it's interesting construction. So the 2x4s, you've got 2x4s on the back end here that this is obviously a DIY thing too. So it feels strong and it looks fine, but it's just the interesting construction. So you've got 2x6s on this side that are turned on end. And then 2x6s for the roof structure as well. And then I can't really tell, it looks like 2x4 construction for this wall. So kind of a mix. But it's a big space, and it's got, well, there's a service panel here, but it doesn't look like it's hooked up. But there's power in here. I don't know if somebody, yeah, it looks like somebody's just pulled maybe an electrical cord. But anyhow, this shed is probably 15 by 12 feet, so a lot of space here. It's definitely usable space. You have your backyard. So you've got a pretty good sized patio here that's partially covered. You can see there's a little bit of cracking in this concrete, but it looks like it's in relatively good shape. And then a little flagstone patio right here. And then it looks like they had kind of a makeshift fire pit with like an old, like a water barrel, like you might, I don't know, feed horses in or something like that. And then your backyard. So I don't know if you can tell from the video, but the backyard is graded pretty aggressively out away from the house, which is good. But there's a little dusting of snow, but from the pictures it looked like it needs some seed at the very least, and maybe a little leveling. There's no gutters on the back side of the house. There are gutters on the front side of the house, but there's no downspouts. That's an easy fix, but just so you're aware. Okay. So heading back through, just for reference again, I'm coming in. Kitchen is to my right. Family room is to the left. And the family room, I didn't mention before, it's huge. So, I mean, it would have, if it was a garage at some point, it was a double car garage. So it's a big family room. So walking back through down the hall, you've got a little coat closet right here on the left. And interestingly enough, there is a thermostat right here. It's mounted a little bit crooked. And then there's access to the attic right here. So as I come down to the hall, it actually makes a left turn here, but I just want to give you a reference. The hall bath is straight ahead. Your master bedroom is immediately to the right. There is one bedroom directly across from the master, and then as this hall curves down to the left, there's two more bedrooms there. So the flow feels fine. It might look a little funky through the video here, but so master bedroom. Pretty good size for a house this age. This room is probably about 15 by 18 feet. But again, just want to point out like just a couple little funky things like DIY flooring and DIY trim. It just needs a little bit of attention. And then there's also a French door here that goes out to the backyard. There's not a patio or anything here, but just so you can see, there's a wooden step, and then you're in the backyard. So you have direct access there. So beyond that, on this side, you've got a walk-in closet and the bathroom right here. So a walk-in closet, as you can see, you're going from this laminate to a wood style tile, like a plank tile. There's no door on the closet. And the closet it's about about 6 by 6 feet, something like that. So it's a decent sized closet for a house this age. Master bathroom. There's a barn door, like a sliding barn door here for the master bathroom. Kind of a cool little touch. And then it looks like probably a handmade vanity. And it, from a distance, it looks cool, but as you get closer, you can see like the epoxy here kind of dripped and ran over. It's a little bit uneven and there's some scratches, but it's definitely unique. And then obviously you have your stool over there, these vessel sinks, and then your master shower, which it's pretty cool. It's about 6 by 4 feet probably, and it's done pretty well. The tiles are a little bit uneven, but I think it looks pretty good. It's yeah, it's a pretty nice shower. Now heading out of the master, directly across the hall is this bedroom, and decent sized bedroom for a house this age. You've got your closet. This bedroom's, it's probably 15 by 12, maybe a little bit bigger. And then as I come out here, if I turn immediately to the left, you've got your hall bath. And again, same type of tile. The tile job here is a little bit funky. You don't have even grout lines, and you can see it's, well, I don't know if you can tell, it's a little uneven and funky up along the tub as well, but that's a relatively minor fix. And the same thing throughout the shower. Just needs a little love. A little bit uneven, and anyhow, I don't want to belabor that, but other than that, it's a standard bathroom. It's about 8 feet deep, 6 feet wide. You've got just a standard kind of stock 24-inch, this is a 30-inch vanity. So coming out here, if I turn to the left, and just again for reference, I've turned down the hall now. So to my left, there's a 90-degree turn, takes us back to the kitchen and family room. So I take this turn, and there's a linen closet immediately to the right. And then you've got another bedroom. This one is about 10 by 12, I would say. We're using it as an office right now. And closet on the right as you walk in. And then heading down towards the end of the hall, here's your fourth bedroom. And it's a little smaller than the other two. This one's probably 10 by 12. There's a little kind of nook in the corner, and just for your reference, this window overlooks the front yard. All of the windows in the house are vinyl, so they've been replaced sometime probably in the last decade. They're not brand new, but they're not original. So anyhow, yeah, that's the house. I mean, from what I can tell, it needs a little bit of love, but I mean, I think it's priced relatively appropriately, and it would make a pretty solid rental. There you go.